Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope the lighting's not too dark. I'm gonna try to quickly get this video filmed. I'm in my living room with my little girl. She's teething, so she's pretty fussy. I didn't want to get the whole setup going, so anyway. Today's video is going to be about my breastfeeding kind of journey thus far, and breastfeeding still at just about 7 months old for my daughter. So if you guys like breastfeeding updates and you like videos like this and it was helpful to you, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, share, follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, all those things. Yeah, and let's just jump right into it. I will list and link my previous two breastfeeding videos down below, as well as like iCards and whatnot. My first 2 weeks, very struggle bus. And then how to like establish a breast milk supply video, because I have a ton of freezer breast milk, and you know, I've done very well thus far, and she's 7 months old. So I will list and link those videos below if you. So yeah, we nurse about 5 to 6 times a day, about every 2 to 2.5 hours. And she is on solids now, so a lot of people have questioned like, how do you work that in? So basically all of her nutrients and nutrition comes from breast milk, so the food is just in addition to. And I always was like, how do you know how often to feed them? How do you know how much? Well, at her pediatrician's appointment at 4.5 months, they had said just do like a tablespoon or a couple tablespoons of food one time a day, and start with like rice cereal or oatmeal. We did rice cereal mixed with breast milk for her first food, and she loved it. Some babies and pediatricians say don't start until 6 months. Completely up to you, like whatever you want to do. We started around 4.5 months. So basically we started out with just rice cereal once a day. We did that, and then we started doing vegetables. I think at 5 months we did a vegetable, and I just did like the big beech nut jars, a quarter of that at first, and we did just one vegetable, like nothing mixed. It was stage 1, and we did one vegetable a week. Like we started off with carrots, and then I did carrots for an entire week. And they say do that because of allergy purposes. I think you can go like 3 to 5 days and then introduce a new food. We chose to do a week. I'm paranoid. I just did a week. So then we did that for a little while, up until about 6 months. We would do a vegetable. And then I think at 6 months, I started introducing a fruit. So I would do our fruit mixed with her rice cereal in the morning. Yeah. I would do her rice cereal mixed with breast milk, make that a little bit thicker than normal, like a tiny bit thicker than normal. And then I would mix the fruit in with that, like a couple tablespoons of fruit mixed in with that. And we would do that as like a brunch, I should say. So after her second nursing session, so around like 11, 12 o'clock, we would do the fruit. And then recently, so when she was like 6 months and 3 weeks, we'll say, I started doing, 6.5 months, I started doing twice a day. So I would give her rice cereal and fruit in the morning after her second nursing session, and then I will do her vegetable at night in between her last like 2 nursing sessions. So she will still have a nursing session and then go to bed, but her vegetable will be around dinner time, like around 5, 6 o'clock. So nursing, it goes as normal, and her food, I just stick in between her nursing sessions, if that makes sense. And I am working 3 nights a week, and I've stopped pumping at work. So I just pump when I get home. My shift is about a 9-hour shift. So I leave the house at 3:30. So I usually feed her around 3, and then I get home around like 1. So for the first month or so, I would pump at work and pump at home. And then I just got used to having to just pump at home, and it hasn't affected my supply. I know a lot of people, I don't know, said like, you know, pump every 2 to 3 hours depending on how many feeding sessions you'll miss. So I only missed 2 feeding sessions with Sydney. I only pump once because I do end up getting the same, I actually get more when I pump after work, more volume than she's actually consuming when I'm away from her. So it's worked out for me. I don't even know if I can recommend that for anyone else, because I don't want anyone's supply to like go down because of me saying that, but that's what I do, and it has worked just because we've established it. So I don't pump at home anymore, and I recently dropped that. I will pump like a random morning session if I need some extra milk in the fridge. So I have a huge freezer stash, and I established that a long time ago, and right up until she was about 6.5 months old, so very recently, I was still pumping in the morning once a day. I would pump after her morning session because that's when I was the fullest, and then I'd nurse her and then I would pump. And like I said, I did that right up until recently. So that's how I established a freezer milk supply. And then I don't pump at home anymore on my 4 days off, but I will pump one time at night after work on my 3 nights a week. If that makes sense to you, I don't know. But it's actually like, it's so relieving to not have to pump every single day. And it's, yeah, I love it. I do, I love it. You know, I don't skip nursing sessions to give bottles. And if I do give bottles, then I will pump. But it's not, now that we've been doing it for about 7 months, it's not as like dire need to keep, I don't know. Like it's a little bit more lax, if I can say, now that we've been going for so long. Keep yourself hydrated and keep yourself fed and fed often. And yeah, it will all work out. So leading up to this, I've just always nursed on demand and kept track of feedings and made sure she had plenty of time on the breast. And I never stopped nursing. I never skipped nursing sessions. I never give bottles. I just, you know, you nurse on demand, and that's how I've been able to keep my milk supply up. And then when I first went to work, I pumped at work and pumped at home. And yeah, so just honestly, keep the baby to the boob. Okay, and I don't really get engorged anymore, and it doesn't hurt me at work anymore because I've been doing it for so long. I think I'm used to it. I'm used to my fullness. I am still very full in the morning, but I don't leak as much. I still wear pads at night in my bra. And she doesn't nurse in the middle of the night. She doesn't wake up for nursing anyway, and she hasn't for a while, and that's just her. She's not, you know, waking up to feed. If your baby still wakes up to feed, I know this is like really controversial. People seem to be like flipping out, like I'm saying, don't feed your baby in the middle of the night. Do whatever is good for your baby. My baby just doesn't need it. Whatever is right for your baby. If your baby's hungry in the middle of the night, feed your baby. Like it's just no brainer, right? My baby just doesn't demand it, and she's been doing great. So yeah, I think that is all I have to say as far as nursing and breastfeeding goes. I thought it would get a lot like easier and a lot like fewer in between, but for some reason Sydney's belly is still really tiny and she doesn't hold a lot of volume of milk. So we're doing, she's very sporadic with bottles now that she's teething. I was doing 4-ounce bottles, and I've tried to bump her up. I want to get her to 5-ounce bottles because we'll be doing 5 nursing sessions. That will be 25 ounces. And then, you know, she does have an ounce or two with her cereal and whatnot. She's very sporadic now that she's teething, and it just depends on the day. And, you know, I let her tell me how much she needs, and I make sure she's, you know, getting plenty of nursing sessions with me because that's how I know she'll eat until she's full. The bottle's very unpredictable. It used to be very predictable, and now it's not. So that is all I have to say. Anyway, guys, I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah.